Hey everybody, today I want to share with you a fantastically uninteresting and unexciting city update that ironically covers hours worth of work that has been done today. I didn't count how many hours it was, but spanning from one corner of the main layout, the original space of the layout, all the way to the opposite corner. Because that's reality. I like to share reality. Sometimes you put a whole lot of work into something, doing stuff that really needs to be done, and in the end there's not a whole lot to show for it. Certainly nothing really worth celebrating, nothing to really get excited about. So I'm going to share that because, like I said, it's reality. Today was a major cleanup day. I had a big old pile of stuff here. I also had a huge pile, more than one table worth of parts just spread out all over the place in the area where I build now as part of the leftovers from building that container crane. So I've cleared all that out and made it so that I can now start to work on my next custom creation, whatever that may be, whatever I choose for that. But I've also fixed up this intersection here, you notice, that's had a pile of parts sitting there since I did my last major expansion of the tables and everything and moved this street and straightened it out and everything. So that actually has the crossing lights now and doesn't have a pile of effectively concrete and debris just sitting in the middle of it. Also, the sidewalks have been extended out, so those now go all the way down this street. They go around the corner. They go down there pretty far. It needs to be fixed up just a little bit in here, but that'll be changed based on what I put there. But those will, the sidewalk goes all the way down on this side as well. So just, fixing stuff up, doing a little trim work, which is pretty important because it really looks so much nicer, to me at least right now. I was really bothered by just how messy everything was and unkempt. The sidewalk here needs to be finished up, but I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to do when I get to railroad crossings. Both railroad crossings and also the crossings underneath the underpasses, or I guess overpasses, for the elevated rail system. But once I figure that out, then I'll just fill in these spots. But I actually have the crossings there as well, and the sidewalk continues all the way down. So again, just filling in little stuff. Let me actually take you to the other side. Obviously there's still a ridiculous amount of stuff to be done over here, so we won't worry about that just yet. But another little thing that I did was just extend the sound wall a little bit with both colors going around here, just a little bit more. It's not as far as it'll go. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to terminate that end down there just yet, whether I'm going to actually cut in this way or if I'm going to go straight and then have another small building right here or just two trees there. I also need to kind of fill in this space, obviously, still. I mean, everything that's not done needs to be done. We know that by now, but just little stuff being done. The crossing there previously just went over sidewalks, so now that actually has a crossing and it has the guards on either side. This corner down here was a mess for quite a while, ever since I did the major expansion to our left. So this is now cleaned up, and again it has some lights, some traffic lights for it. And this space back here was cleaned up, so that's ready to get some buildings in there whenever I'm ready to do those. I put in what panels I did get from that last Bricklink order, plus just a handful of other little ones for the corners that I needed, all around this elevated track. So you'll see those going all the way around and all the way down, and we'll just kind of follow along with that. But another major thing happened. Well, not all that major, again, not all that exciting, but very, very important. Major thing, again, not major, but very important thing that I worked on was fixing up all of the stays, all of the posts, all the supports holding up this thing. Ever since I moved the whole elevated rail loop a bit, shortened it a bit, changed its shape a little bit for the last major changes that I did to the railway, that's all been just unusable. Most of the posts have been out or not fully connected, so I went through every single one and put in the correct heights and everything, which included moving the incline. Previously the incline was here, and I moved the incline down there, so everything had to be redone. And it's nice and smooth, and it's connected pretty well, and all of this is pretty sturdy and secure now. It's actually more sturdy than it's ever been, so that's good. It's also a little bit more homogeneous underneath. I'm not using the different types of supports, because previously I had to use the different types of supports once I got down to this end here, where previously the main train track, the main rail line down here, turned underneath and went beneath all of this. So I had to kind of straddle that. So that's all simplified now. That's all taken care of. No longer an issue. So this can all just continue around pretty nicely and pretty smoothly as it does. And then when we get down to this end over here, again, smoother. The sidewalk actually continues through, something that it hasn't done, I think, ever. I think this is the first time for that. All the supports down here were worked on all the way out to right there. I think that was the last one that I did work on, was this one right here. And then beyond that, just between that post and I think 1 or 2 posts past where you can see here. Those are the ones that were not touched. All the rest were rebuilt and recentered and redone and readjusted. And then finally coming down to this corner here, that's just temporary. I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to do to fill in this space where the crossing goes over a corner piece. That might get a little bit, well, it'll definitely get a little bit tricky, but at least I've kind of started to move in that direction, and then this corner has been cleaned up, including having the sidewalks that come all the way down from the main street now, thankfully, finally, all the way down the main street, all the way to this corner. And then the corner is set up properly and all of this. I think most of this was already in, but there were some holes and it was filled in just a little bit. So it's just put together much better. And this is where things start to get a little wonky again, because I still need to get the actual final details figured out for what's going to be down here. There will be multiple buildings, and that crossing there has moved a number of times, so it doesn't have its center part in it, but at least I have the crossing gates and guards for that. But you know, just the streets themselves are so much cleaner now, and you can look down a street and you see sidewalks on both sides, and you don't see piles of parts of various colors just sitting in there randomly. You don't see them there. You know, most of the rail lines where they need to be straight are actually straight. You can look down there and it's fairly clean. I can bring in more vehicles now, have more parked on the side, have more actually driving up and down. You know, it's just better. But there is still so much to be done, but I'm very happy to have this time to work on the city and also work on custom creations. As I always say, this is my favorite stuff to do, so when I get the chance, I try to dive in. I need to get to the point where I have good motivation so that I'm not pushing myself into this, but that motivation, as of the time of the recording of this video, is definitely back. So lots of progress is being made, even though today's progress in particular was not that exciting at all. Decided to share it anyway. Hope that maybe somebody enjoyed this video and didn't get completely bored by it. But hopefully the next video now will be a little bit more interesting. So stay tuned. I'll talk to you again soon.